Hello, floss tubers, or floss tube. This is Joan, made by Mama Joan. I haven't done a floss tube in, I don't know, how long has it been, Kels? Kels is with me.
I think it's probably been over a year. Yeah,
over
yeah.
A year.
We'll look back.
And Kelsey has finally got 3 of her 4 kids in school, and so one of her kids and Malin, my other grandchild that lives with us, is downstairs with Papa. So we are going to try to get a floss tube done. So, and Kelsey is insisting that I show my little shitten. She was in, I'm sure she was in the videos right after maybe Kelsey can find a picture of her when we first found her. We found her in our backyard. And when she was just a teeny tiny, she only weighed about a pound. Somebody must have dropped her, or I don't know, but so anyway, her name is Lucy, but we call her Shit. So anyway, I am so discombobbled, but I will talk. I'm going to do a little Christmas. I know it's not Christmas anymore, but I will show you the things I stitched this year for Christmas, and some of them I have just gotten finished, like in the last few days. Most of the stuff was done, but some stuff didn't get done till after Christmas because we were traveling. We went down and spent some time with some of our kids that lived down in Tennessee and Georgia. So anyway, enough of that. So let me start with I've started, I don't know, maybe my assistant can help. This is kind of going to glare. I got these patterns, this pattern, this chart, and I started stitching. I did two of these were finished these were last year finishes. So I decided I'm going to do all. I think there's 8 of them there, and I'm going to do all. So these are the first 2 I did at the end of last year, so 2022, and then I just finished these 2 in the last 2 weeks. So I have 4 done, and I am in the 12 and 23 Christmas ornament stitch along, or whatever they're calling that. And the premise of that is to do 1 a month, but I do 9 ornaments anyway for the grands, and then I usually do 1 for myself, and I've been doing 1 for one of my other kids. So I'm a little ahead of I've got to go faster than 1 a month. So that's why I have those 2 that I did this year, and these 2 sleds that I did. Those are Annie B's. I was in that club where you got 1 a month with 3 little sleds in it. So those are some of this year's that I'm ahead on. The rest of these I'm going to show. These ornaments are ornaments I did before Christmas in 2022. I just thought I'd show them as I don't know, for fun. So these 2 are sled ones from, those are Annie B's too, I believe. So I stitched them up, and I have other kinds of sleds that I put them on. Here's the ornament I stitched for all my grands this year. That was I think it was a Bent Creek, the little square thing. The frame ornament I had gotten from Dollar General like 2 years ago. So I made all of those for the grands this year. Some other things that I stitched through the year, I belong to Teresa Koget's Patreon, and she does, not only you get your monthly things, and then she does a monthly ornament. In the last 6 months, I think she did, it was Christmas related, and I did get most of those, and here's some of how I finished some of those. That was a Teresa Kogut one from Patreon. So if you don't belong to her Patreon, I mean, some of her she does release after a year or so to the general public, but it's kind of fun being part of the Patreon thing. This was that was just part of a chart. I just took the snowman off of there and stitched him up. This was one of the ornaments from Teresa Kogut. That was also a Teresa one, and I think...
That's so cute, that little 2022 charm right there.
Yes, I had, you know, I bought some to put on things that I can't, well, or if I don't stitch it on. And then I had a ton of them, and so it's like, okay, I'm going to start putting them. I usually, like, this is a Teresa Kogut. I'll stitch the year on the piece, but if I don't, then I have those little charms, and I can shove them on there. So that's what I've been doing. Kitty.
Yeah, she's being naughty down here.
Yes, she is. So those were some of that. Them were Teresa's. This is, I know it's a Chessie and Me. I believe it was a kit. You know, it had the fibers and the fabric. I'd started that probably 2 years ago. Pulled it out and finished it this year. Not sure why I waited so long. This one here is a homespun elegance. I have a handful of those that I really need to start stitching. This one is Plum Street sampler. Of course, again, I don't know the name of the chart. It's written down, but you know how that goes. This is
That's cute.
Lila Studio. I have another one stitched up. I haven't finished it off yet, but those are really cute. They were fun to do. Then I have this one, and the name of the, Acadia Stitchery on Etsy. That, I just thought that one was so cute. And she's got one now that's got a Santa, or a snowman, I'm sorry, a snowman. They were just really cute. Got that stitched up. Then I saw these, I think I saw the Mary first. That I think is Mojo Stitches, or I think it's Mojo Stitches on Etsy. So I stitched them up really quick. And then I think the last Christmas thing I did stitch, it's not finished off yet, was this Scarlet House Christmas Alphabet. So it's stitched. I have the board that's next on my agenda of finishing. So I'll have to get to that. I think that is all of my recap on. I could show you, I did get these are the ornaments Carissa made. I'll show them. My daughter made that one. Oh, and so my daughter Carissa made that ornament and this one here for me for Christmas. And then my daughter Melissa knitted these caps.
So cute. Oh, I have some more of those at my house.
Some more of the...
Yes.
They have the puffy balls? Or the
No,
hats?
I think just the hats.
Oh. My daughter Melissa made the hats. You get these little puffy balls at Joann's and you stick a wooden... I'm not a gnome guy, but they are cute as hell.
They are. They're very cute. Cute little nose right there. These are the puff balls that go on top of knitted hats.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That was my Christmas recap.
There you go.
I got my director down here telling me what to say and how to say it. We decided to do this Flosstube just in the last few days, and of course I am never organized enough to pull stuff together, and it takes a lot of time and
energy
rearranging things. Like, you know, some of these things I've pulled off of, I have displays going right now and I had to pull them off and yada yada yada. As I was saying, I have a lot of things stitched that it is just kind of I haven't gathered it, is the long and short of it. So I was just sitting here looking over on the shelf. I'm in my, I don't know what you want to call this. This is my working craft room. It's up above our garage in our new house, and I'd show you it, but it's such a mess that I'm not showing you it. But I have my sewing. Maybe Kelsey can take a picture of, or we can show you just briefly. I have 2 sewing machines set up over here, so when I'm sewing for my business, which I've kind of had a self-induced hiatus. I'm really going off on a bunny trail.
That's okay.
Anyway, we're filming upstairs here, and I just haven't collected. We're filming in here because it's quiet. It's quiet. We were going to film out in the main living area up on the top floor here, but there are 2 children downstairs with a grandpa that's watching them, and he's not going to keep them quiet, and they're not going to be quiet. So anyhow, the bunny trail was, I have seen a couple other things that I'll show today, but this is just a small snippet of the things I've been doing since the last Flosstube I've done. So one of my things is, I stitched this up a little, sometime in 2022. It's a Teresa Kogut. I started it, I think, when I was on our girls' retreat. There's myself and 3 other of my friends that we get together every August and we have a retreat. I believe I started that then, so I can't remember when I finished it up, but that's one of the things. Another one, this was a Teresa Kogut gave out, it was a free design, more or less, for her Patreon people when she reached, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers. Gosh, I can't remember which it was. Anyhow, I thought it was great, so I hurried up and stitched it up. And I've had the frame for a little bit, and
Kitty,
I just framed it up just recently, so I wanted to show that. My little kitten is wandering off with some of my stitching things.
With this.
She was playing with this. She has an aversion for wool stuff, and I'm going to put it in here.
That's a great idea.
And then this is a Plum Street sampler, and I'm pretty sure that was a retreat piece that I had, I don't know, for 2 or 3 years, and it's like, okay, I have a lot of retreat pieces that I haven't stitched. I just need to start stitching them. So that was another thing I had stitched this last year. And then I stitched this, well, let's go like this. So this is a Stacy Nash, and it's I think it's called Red Work Pillow. But I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it is.
It's a huge pillow. But it was really fun to, well, maybe it is called Harriet Brown.
Yep, there it is.
But that was really kind of fun to stitch, and I don't know, it's kind of cool to have this large pillow. I'll show you really quickly some current relevant stitches, because Valentine's Day is coming up, and every year I try to stitch a couple of Valentine things. So this is Heart and Hands 2019 Collector Heart. So I've had it since 2019. Just stitched it just in the last week or so and framed her up in a frame I had. This is a little freebie from the Primitive Hair. I think it's just called Love Never Fails. I think that was a freebie. I just stitched that up in the last week and finished it off into a pillow. This is, I can't remember the designer. It's in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I think it was in February of 2020. I started this thing, and I don't know, it's a little one, and I had so much problem with it, I had to start it over. And then I was still having problems with it, but now it's finished. Now I just got to FFO it. And then just the other day, I went to my local, my LNS, Stitchville, and I picked up this year's Collector's Heart from Heart and Hand. And I started stitching this not last night, the night before I just started. So this is my progress so far on that. So that hopefully will be done. Well, it should really be done before Valentine's Day. I don't have that much. I've got enough time to get that done. So there's a couple of my Valentine things that I'm working on or have worked on so far this year. Then for some reason I'm off on another bunny trail thing this year. I wanted to do, I think it was because I saw Brenda Sampler Stitcher. She did a little tour of her stitching thing. I kind of like to do that here, but I'm not organized enough. And she had some little mini quilts. I had some books from, I think Kathleen Tracy she does like Civil War quilts and stuff like that. So I did this little mini quilt. I decided, since I've been on my self-imposed hiatus from making bags, I've done some stitching or some quilting for myself. So that was one thing I quilted up.
Sometimes you have to do other hobbies too, you know?
I do. I think that's very true. And then I have tons of, because I've done a lot of Blackbird design, out of print bags. And so I have lots of fabric scraps. And I bought a little pattern. This was Atkinson's Designs. And it was a big quilt pattern. Why can't I think of the name of it right now? Yellow Brick Road, maybe. So she had these, it's mini, what does it say? Mini Brick Road. It's Mini Brick Road. She has a big pattern, or a pattern for doing quilts, and then she has this mini one, and so you can do like little mini quilts or a doll quilt or placemats, or so I took Blackbird design fabric I have, and
That's really cute.
I made a couple of mats or mini quilts. So this was another one. It's got the same fabrics in them, but they're placed differently. So I'd done that. And then going back to the first little quilt, mini quilt I did, this was a pincushion that was in that same book, that Kathleen Tracy. And I think the books, if I'm reading correctly through different, like a Facebook group, I think those books are out of print. Anyhow, if I knew where them books were, anyhow, maybe I can find them, and Kels can take a picture of them.
Throw up a screenshot.
And then I was on one more tangent this year. I don't think I have one in here. I was making, well, yeah, here's the start of one. I was making just, that one's not really finished. I got to get some more yarn for it. Dishcloths. I don't know why. They were an easy thing to do when I was traveling. I could crochet them up in the car, and they were just, so because of this I needed a bag, so I made myself this little bag. And then I saw Elizabeth Can Stitch did a tutorial on making this portfolio bag, cross stitch bag, so you've got a little pocket here to put your charts or whatever, and then of course the vinyl here. So I made up
the zippered vinyl. Yeah.
It's yeah, on the inside here. Yeah. Yeah. So you can put, you know, your goodies inside there. So I made that up, and since I had this fabric, I made a matching set. If you've seen this tutorial, you know, if you would like one of these and you can't make one, you can contact me, because I've been doing custom orders if needed. So that's kind of a little taste of what I've been doing. I have been stitching, I have been sewing. Maybe next time, there's some quilts I've made a large quilt for my son. I made one for my daughter. I've made a couple of baby ones. I've been doing that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Then I was thinking, I haven't listed a new bag for, and I do have one made up. So I'll do a little shop update. I haven't done one of these forever. I'll probably post this on my Instagram and probably my Facebook page if I remember, because I don't always remember. Anyhow, this is a new, well, it's fairly new. It's called Flea Market by Kathy Holden, I believe. So this is the large bag. This is, of course, the standard bag. And I bumped up my accessory bags to a jumbo instead of an extra large. So it's a little bit bigger. I find it's kind of nice to have a little bit bigger accessory bag to carry all your accoutrements. These will probably be listed this weekend, and on Friday they should go up and be listed for on my Etsy shop, Made by Mama Joan. So you can find me on my Etsy at Made by Mama Joan. You can find me on Instagram at Made by Mama Joan, and my Facebook page, Made by Mama Joan. And I have a blog that I don't, that's not, my blog isn't Made by Mama Joan. My blog is Stitching Squad, but I haven't updated that for about 4 years.
You mention it every time, and
I know.
there's never an update.
I know, and there's never an update, so I'm consistent. If nothing else, I'm consistent. So that's a little catch up for right now. I don't know when we'll do the next one.
We're gonna aim for a month.
Yeah, she's talked every 2 weeks, but I'm not sure.
We'll start slow and do once a month.
I'll try.
And maybe next time I'll sit with you so you can.
So I can have a partner in crime.
Yeah.
It's always easier to have a partner. Yeah, maybe next time then I'll talk about the sewing machines I have acquired since we last met. And in the last couple of weeks. I think we'll talk about that then. I think of all these things that I could talk about after the fact. So, yeah, I think that's it for now. I hope everybody is well and stitching. And I will see you hopefully in a month. Or maybe sooner, you never know. Thanks for watching. Bye. Kitty kitty.